5 years ago, Nathan Fillion's Officer John Nolan started his second act as LAPD's oldest rookie. On September 27th, the ABC Rookie Universe expands. Former guidance counselor turned FBI agent Simone Clark explodes onto the screen in this fun, high-octane, action-packed spinoff. Niecy Nash Betts stars in the Rookie Fed series premiere, September 27th, 10/9 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
You are now listening to the hottest true crime podcast in the streets.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I am Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Fran and Alvin.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Gonna post to it.
What up?
Yeah, yes, folks. Fran is joining me remotely this week. We talked for about 10 or 15 minutes straight. I didn't realize I didn't hit record because this is not how we usually record. You guys will never know how magical those 10 minutes were. They were just they were a magical special 10 minutes. We're gonna try to recreate those. But Fran is joining me remotely because it's been a busy week. Fran is if you're hearing this the day it comes out, Fran is getting married tomorrow. Round of applause for him. Big day of nuptials and whatnot for that, man. You're hearing kind of staticky on the other end. Fran, speak to that.
To what?
How you feeling, man? How's the week been? How's the closing up the final last little touches?
Hey, man, look, it's been hectic. I feel like, yeah, man, I'm ready, you know. But I mean, like now it's like it's getting closer and closer. So now I'm getting anxious. I'm getting real anxious, and I'm getting nervous. I know everything. I know she's going to say yes. I mean, you know, I do. But you know what I mean? Like, still, you get the nerves. You know, it's like you all dressed up. You know, the day is about you two. You know, me and her. So it's like all the focus on us is about us.
Spotlight.
Yeah, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great day, man. I can't wait. It's going to be a very special day. One of the moments was like, you know, you have those memories forever. It's about us. You know, tying a knot, and then family, people we love dearly to us is gonna be there. You get to celebrate that special day with this, man. It's gonna be. I can't wait, man. I really can't.
No, for sure, man. I've been working on some TikTok dances. You know, I've been watching some videos. I don't know if I got them crisp. I don't know if they will be crisp, but I'm gonna try to implement some of them out on the dance floor. Even if, you know, I'm gonna let my body do the talking. You know, even if I'm not doing it properly, I'm just gonna let the spirit take over. I don't want to be judged. I just want to dance freely. But I'm going to try to do that little hip thing where your hips go up and down and you're rubbing your stomach and you're smacking yourself. I'm going to try to break that one out. I feel like that one is begging to come out of me.
I don't know, man.
I know the hips. That's a young person. I don't have the hips. I know the hips can't do it, but the hips, they want to do it, and I might let them. I'm no guarantees, but I might pull something out. I'm not sure. But as we got into before, you know, I didn't hit the record button. I want to let people know Fran might be having the most progressive wedding of 2022. He has double best men. Me and his brother, and the way that the formation is situated, we're locking arms and walking down the aisle together, me and his bro. So I'm very excited about that. The mustache will be fully trimmed and groomed and properly, and I'm gonna blow one of those up and get that framed up nice, because that's gonna be a legendary photograph for sure, as we discussed. It's gonna be a magical. It's gonna be a magical moment. It's gonna be a magical moment, yeah, I don't think people are ready for that. For all of the swag and the drip, I mean, a lot of magical moments coming down that aisle, man. I haven't seen the finishing touches of your suit. Like, I haven't seen the finished product.
Oh man, it's clean, man. I got a nice. But I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna.
No. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I want to see. I want to see day of. But speaking of excitement, and again, people bear with us, man. Like, we did this. We literally just did this. So we're gonna act like we didn't, man. Fran, speaking of excitement and things changing and life changing and moving in a different way, one of the biggest and most exciting and you know, headline making things happened this week. Adnan Syed from the famous Serial podcast was released this week on house arrest. His conviction was vacated pending a new trial. But Marilyn Mosby, who is the district attorney, well, she's the exiting district attorney. She has like 3 months left until the guy that beat her takes over. And there's some controversy about that, but it's kind of haterism. I don't really think it's controversy. Some people are saying she's trying to make headlines in a positive way by spotlighting this case and addressing this case on her way out to make her look good as she leaves. But I don't really give a shit about that, man. She lost the election or whatever, and she's leaving, and she's doing a good thing, and she's doing a good thing for somebody. I don't think even if it has an ulterior motive, I think that his case was handled improperly. A lot of the evidence was flimsy and speculative, and this Jay Wilds character, is an unreliable witness. And so I think he was not given a fair trial. I'm not here to discuss whether or not people think he's innocent or guilty. That's a different conversation, but I don't think you can argue that the trial was not fair. And based on that, it was vacated. Now, there was 2 witnesses that the prosecution didn't put forward back in that time, back in 2000, where one of those suspects threatened to kill Haymon Lee, and like that wasn't like given forward to, they didn't like present it to the defense or the judge, and so there's a suspect out there who literally threatened to kill Haymon Lee, and nobody knew about this. So things like that and other things led to this case being vacated. Marilyn Mosby said she's waiting on some DNA evidence, and if this DNA evidence comes back as Adnan Syed is not a suspect or not a part of this DNA at all, she will not pursue a new trial, and she will drop the charges completely. So that'll be coming down the pipeline in the next few days, I'm sure, where it's like confirmed he's out and not going back to trial and just is a completely free man. But the possibility of a new trial is still on the table, but this new trial would not involve Jay Wilds, and some of the evidence, I think the cell phone evidence got thrown out, and I think this DNA evidence will get thrown out as well if it comes back negative. So there will be no DNA evidence, no cell phone evidence, and no Jay Wilds. And so if he was to go to a new trial, I think that he walks in a new trial. Now, I don't want it to get lost on people that the Lee family is still suffering. Their case is now a cold case once again. And so, people should be respectful and, being celebratory, because, Syria was a big podcast, Fran. Like people really got invested. People picked a side. So people feel like, like a Super Bowl was won. I can really feel it on social media. Like people feel like this is one of those cases where it transcends true crime. Like you see people that like friends of your parents and co-workers sharing the story that they don't really watch true crime, but like this is that big that they are interested in it. So this is big, and people are celebrating and happy, and some people are upset, and I just don't want it to get lost that there's a family who's grieving. Haymon Lee was a real person. Adnan Syed is a real person. Like this is not a game. It's not teams. There shouldn't be no rubbing in the face or blaming the family as to why. If all the detectives and all the prosecutors are telling me this guy killed my daughter, my sister, my brother, my daughter, my sister, I'm going to believe them because they're the people who do the job. And so we can't blame the Lee family for believing people whose job it is to solve murders. They told the family that this is the guy. And if they still believe that, that's their business. We have no right to try to blame them for feeling and investing in the closure of your child's case being solved and then having that snatched away. We have no right to like judge them for that. Right. Because for the last 22 years, they believed that. They thought it was over.
Yeah, man, I know that sucks. And I think that, like we've seen this multiple times with other cases, that for prosecutors, that was them going after, Adnan Syed was like low-hanging fruit for them. Because it's like, well, he dated her, all the details of that
ex-boyfriend,
story. And it was like, right. So it was so easy to get him, and it's just like, and him being connected to her, and it's just like all the details. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've read that story. Now the DNA wasn't tested when this was going on when it happened, right?
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. DNA was not the basis of his conviction. It was a cell phone records.
Right. Okay. Right, just like we always talk about that damn show.
Long Shot.
What is it? Long Shot, man. Yep. Long Shot, man. Yep. That's crazy.
They had Jay Wilds as a witness, cell phone records, and then the narrative that they put together.
Yeah.
Which is the narrative is a solid narrative. He's a scorned ex-boyfriend. She didn't like him anymore. It sounds good, but I don't think the evidence was that strong. That's my opinion. So, and the opinion seems to be, a solid one because it went before, a judge, and the judge vacated the charges. So something isn't strong or sturdy in that case, and so they vacated the charges. So if his DNA doesn't come back on the sample that they have, according to what I saw in some of the interviews that I saw of Marilyn Mosby, she will completely drop the charges and there will not be a new trial pursued, and he will just be a completely free man. Now, Adnan Syed is a lucky guy. He's not lucky. He lost 22 years of his life, but he's lucky in the sense that this case is so big and prominent and made so much news and has been for almost 20 years of fame. I mean, Serial is almost 20 years old. It's about 15 years old.
Yeah.
So, before then, this was not a story that everybody knew, but after Serial, the whole world knew this. So I'm sure there have been GoFundMes and clothes have been put aside, and speaking engagements are already ready to go, and documentary. I mean, this guy's gonna land on his feet for his
everywhere, man.
Yeah, for his next act of life, and I hope so for him. His next act, because he got his first act stolen. His next act is gonna be one with purpose, and I don't think he's gonna worry about money, and that's not the case for a lot of people. So in that regard, he is lucky. Obviously, he got his life stolen from him, but we've done a lot of stories and read a lot of stories about people who come out and don't land on their feet so smoothly after being wrongfully convicted of a crime. Because as we discussed,
now, can he sue?
Oh, I'm sure he can sue, and I'm sure he will sue. I'm sure he can and will sue the state of Maryland or the city of Baltimore, even though they have no fucking money. But yeah, I think he can. I think he can. I think he can sue and will sue. He's within his rights to sue. If they're saying, if they admit to
20 years of my life.
Yeah, exactly. If they admit, well, here's the thing. I don't know the difference between vacating a sentence and overturning the conviction. I don't know if they're the same thing. Because I feel like overturning the conviction is saying like we got this wrong. But I feel like vacating is like we got the trial wrong. But I guess you can still sue for that.
It's kind of like a redo. It's not like vacating is like a redo. Like you said, we got the trial wrong, so we need to kind of hit a reset button.
Yeah,
and kind of figure everything out. Yeah,
but they're not explicitly saying like you didn't do this. But but yeah, no. Congratulations to Adnan Syed, and prayers to the Lee family. It's a really nobody won, but there's a silver lining in a really dark story, and it's that if this guy is not the guy, he got his freedom back, and I don't think he's the guy, so I'm happy for him, but I'm obviously sad for the Lee family because they are once again a family of an unsolved murder.
I want to know, throughout the whole time, this 20 years, I want to know if they had, any doubt. I know, you relying on detectives and stuff, because you let them do their job, like you said, and everything you can believe is what they're telling you because this is what they do. This is their profession. So it's I want to know if they really had any doubt, if he had something to do with it or not, if that came across their mind.
Well, and this is the complicated thing about it is that whether they did or they didn't, if they choose to publicly say for the rest of their lives that we believe Adnan Syed is the guy that killed our daughter, our sister, I have no judgments toward them. They got
every right to think that, though.
Yeah, the police told them this was the guy. The prosecutors told them that this was the guy. A judge told them that this was the guy. I can't sit here and say, how can y'all sit here and still blame this guy? And I was like, it's like, man, we for the last 22 years have thought that our daughter was found justice, and now you're telling us that that's not the case, and we have to go back to square one, and maybe their brains won't let them do that, and also I don't think we'll ever know 100% either way. I know I have my beliefs and what I think happened, but I don't know, and so if there's 5%, 10%, 20% of a doubt, then if I'm the person whose family member died, I have every right to go, I still, I hear what you're saying. This evidence was thrown out or whatever, but I think he was the guy. and they should not be like attacked or shamed or, the internet has a way of just being heartless and gross and picking teams. And this is one of those scenarios where this is a team type of thing. Serial made this a team type of thing. People picked sides and people broke down everything and the evidence and the stories. And we've seen this from every different angle and documentaries and everything. There are sides to this. And there's a real swelling on the internet of we won, you lost. Celebrate, pop bottles. This is great. Yes. And it's like, yes, this is great. This guy was railroaded by the system, it seems. At the very least, his trial wasn't fair. But let's not be gross in our celebration because these are real people. Right. Somebody died. Somebody lost 22 years of their life. Like, this isn't a meme. So, yeah, I just want people to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I agree with that, though. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So let me just say two things. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with the Patreon shout-outs next week. And this week, I will just be doing a story because, as me and Fran discussed before we started, this is not the best connection. And I don't want Fran to do his story. No. And it just is like, he's really excited about his story. And I don't want him to be, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I got a great story. It's kind of something I can't do it, but, it's awesome, though.
Yeah, you don't want
it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I don't want to get real about it. Fuck up connection.
Yeah, you sound like you're in a can of Chef Boyardee, so I would not want you to. I would not want you to deliver your story under such circumstances. It wouldn't do this. It wouldn't do it justice, man. So I will be doing a story.
Also with you not make sure you hit the record button. I don't want to get deep into my story, and I'm all into it, and you go, oh man.
Oh yeah, damn man, I forgot to hit record, man. 30 minutes into just absolute heat, too. I'm just like, man, something? This button's green right now. This thing didn't get a thing. This machine wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to that story. But okay, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm gonna get into some fucked up shit, and then we're gonna get out of here. So stick around. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by the Sparked Podcast. 2020 created a moment of people asking big questions, especially about work. Should I stay? Should I go? Or the work from home option that turned into never stop working. These are some of the many questions that award-winning author and podcaster Jonathan Fields explores on the podcast Sparked, presented by LinkedIn. Every week on the Sparked Podcast, a listener shares what's going on in their work and life and then poses a question to Jonathan and the Sparked Brain Trust. Then, the Spark team dives in, sharing unique insights, resources, and strategies. And, while they may be speaking to one person's question, it's always incredibly helpful to so many others who have similar questions and want so much more from work and life. For me personally, I listened to an episode on how to focus on big decisions and decide what's next, because as a pseudo podcaster with a day job, I wanted to get perspective on when it's time to make the move. And Sparked had some very insightful answers for me. So if you want more from your work and life, and who doesn't these days, you've got to check out the Sparked Podcast. Just look for Sparked with Jonathan Fields on your favorite podcast app today.
5 years ago, Nathan Fillion's Officer John Nolan started his second act as LAPD's oldest rookie. On September 27th, the ABC Rookie Universe expands. Former guidance counselor turned FBI agent Simone Clark explodes onto the screen in this fun, high-octane, action-packed spinoff. Niecy Nash Betts stars in the Rookie Fed series premiere, September 27th, 10/9 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
All right, and we are back. Fran, because of all the hoopla and the exciting news around the Adnan Syed case, I decided I wanted to cover a wrongful conviction story this week myself. And so my affirmative murder this week is the story of Kevin Bailey and Corey Batchelor.
Okay. Hey, let me tell you something. Now I'm really upset.
Please.
Because my story is also wrongful conviction.
Oh, man. Yeah, we were on theme.
Hey.
Well, man, listen. I wanted you. Also, one last announcement, too. There will be no episode Monday. Fran is going on honeymoon, a mini moon. Yeah. Because you got big plans for the honeymoon. But this is going on a mini moon. And so he will be gone for the weekend. And so we're going to take that opportunity to, refresh and rest up and come back fresh in October. I think by the time the next Monday comes around, it will be Spookytober again. So man. You get the weekend off and a week to refresh, and then your story bring that story when you don't sound like you're in a can of beans, and we're gonna come back and start fresh with that heat. It sounds crazy, like you're in another dimension or something like that. It's wild. I can't wait to read the Apple Podcast reviews of this. Like, first of all, this podcast audio sound is terrible. The worst thing as like one episode, you can't just cut us a break.
One episode, damn.
One episode, you gonna leave a 1-star review off one episode. Cold-blooded world, bro. It's a cold-blooded world. We got a 1-star review one time because somebody was mad. We dropped a mini episode instead of a regular episode. They were like, "This mini episode sucks." I was like, "We put something out." I was like, "What the hell is it?" They were like, "Don't ever do this again." I want to hear the regular episodes. I was like, you went and left a 1-star review because of that? That's crazy. That's some sick people out there. So
that's crazy.
They gonna be mad at this one. It's like I think they still listen to the podcast, but they were like, let me go leave them a terrible review telling them don't ever put this mini shit out. They were like, y'all need to vet the emails. Do y'all just believe in these people? I was like, you got this much venom in your heart for free content? We could have put nothing out. That one really burned my heart. All you had to do was send Alvin a DM. Damn. You didn't have to fuck the algorithm up. Anyway, so this is the story of Kevin Bailey and Corey Batchelor. So in 1989, Corey and Kevin were a pair of 19-year-old Chicago friends trying to figure out what to do with their lives. On June 1st of that year at around 2:15 p.m., the body of 69-year-old Lula Mae Woods, who was the wife of a retired police officer, was found on the floor of her open garage on the south side of Chicago. She had been stabbed to death and her purse was missing in an apparent home invasion and robbery. Lula Mae was last seen 30 minutes earlier when she deposited a check at a nearby bank and withdrew $100. So you never know who could have been watching her there, scoping her out, seen her take cash out. That's why I always, at the ATMs, I'm always leery, man. And I try to get up out of there real quick because I don't want people seeing I took money out. I like to get to my car really quickly. I'm always got my head on a swivel because you never know who's lurking, man. It's tough times out here.
Yeah, man. Whenever I go to ATM, when it's people there, I'll just go last. I'll wait. I stand super close to the screen and I'm looking behind me, or like if there's nobody, like if I'm by myself, so I'll try to stand sideways just so I can like
see everything.
Be aware if somebody's walking past, so I can just see everything right, and it's like. It's just, yeah, man. I never like to go in the ATM.
Nah, I can't stand ATMs. Anyway, police found 2 sets of keys near her body, a bloody towel, and the strap of her purse, which had apparently been cut from the purse. Under her body was a Domino's pizza hat, a 6-inch
pizza hat.
They're like a work hat, like somebody. I don't know if they were fresh from work.
Left it?
Yeah, left it. It was underneath of her. And I'll get to that, too, to really clear up any kind of like speculation as to where it came from. I can clear it up in a bit.
Okay.
So a 6-inch serrated steak knife, which was believed to be the murder weapon, was found on the sidewalk not far from the scene. Because it was raining, it was of little value from an evidentiary perspective. So if blood, fingerprints got washed off of the knife. But they believed it was the knife that was used to murder her. Police recovered 2 strands of hair on the bloody towel and a single hair on the hat. Police believe the hat was dropped by the perpetrator because it did not belong to Woods or any of the members of her family. So Lula Mae Woods, this grown-ass lady, did not work at Pizza Hut. She was 69 years old, and nobody in her family worked at Pizza Hut. Domino's, sorry. Nobody in her family worked at Domino's, and she didn't work at Domino's. Her husband was a retired police officer. He didn't work at Domino's. So this Domino's hat just came out of nowhere. So it was a pretty easy deduction that it belonged to whoever broke into the house.
That's crazy for you, like, fresh off the clock, you go and commit a crime, a murder, in full uniform, damn near.
Yeah, and it's like, now they can just, again, I'm not going to get into if the murder was solved because I wasn't able to find that. But you would think, like, you work at Domino's, they could just go, okay, there's 3 Domino's within the vicinity of this home. Let's get an employee list. What a thing to leave at a crime scene, a hat of your job. But I guess they could have been wearing it for fashion reasons. I wouldn't, but
no, that's crazy.
The blue and the red box might really set off some Iversons or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you do work at Domino's, why would you leave your work hat there? Now they're like, oh, somebody that works at Domino's did this.
This sounds like a CSI type of episode where it's like, whoever this was that left his hat at the crime scene, and then like They find out when they go look for him that they talk to his boss. They come in there and ask him, they're like, yeah, so has anybody come in here and mention about, they need a new hat? And they go like, yeah, Jeffrey walked in here a couple days ago. We asked him where his hat was as part of his uniform and, mandatory. He mentioned that he left it, so, he lost it or something. And they just didn't, they just brushed it off.
Yeah.
But then they find out it was like,
comes back around.
A fucking whole murder. Yeah, like, that's what this reminds me of.
And the whole time he's saying that, he's still tossing the pizza. They never stopped doing their job on that show. He's still tossing the pizza. Yeah, Jeffrey came in. He said he lost his hat at a parade, and we didn't really question it, but we had to send him home for the day because we don't let people not wear hats here. Still tossing the dough, making a pizza while there's police talking to you. It's like, man, again, listen, man, I respect the police, but I have to do my job. These pizzas got to get slung. So about 3 hours later, after the police arrived to do the investigation, police discovered Wood's purse in a garbage can a block away from the scene of the crime. They recovered her bank book, deposit slips, a check register, and other items. No money was found. 7 fingerprints were recovered from those items, though. Larry Johnson was the first suspect in the murder after he was arrested on unrelated charges a few days after Lula Mae was murdered. While in custody, Johnson told detectives that he had overheard, and listen to this, friend, this is crazy. While he was in custody, he told allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly because this sounds crazy. He allegedly told detectives that he had overheard an argument between 19-year-old Corey Batchelor and Corey Batchelor's brother, Tony. Johnson said he heard Tony tell Corey, man, you shouldn't have gone in that lady's purse. Johnson also told police that Emil Batchelor, the father of Tony and Corey, knew that Corey was involved in the murder. So he just happened to know all this really personal information within this family. It sounds like a discussion. First of all, who says that? Like, what was the context of that? Like, you just hear this older brother say, man, you shouldn't have killed that lady. It's basically what he's saying. It's how is what the police are saying. That's how they pursued him. But for me, what this sounds like, again, everything always goes back to the Central Park 5 case, and seeing that played out in the show, because you hear about these tactics for years and they're like, look, well, you're going down for this if you don't give us somebody. That feels like this. It's like, yeah. I don't know, man, fucking this kid also lives in the neighborhood and he has a record or something. I don't know if Corey Batchelor has a record or something, but it feels like they were like, well, you need to tell us somebody else that could have done this. And so he goes, overheard Corey Batchelor's brother telling him, you shouldn't have gone in that lady's purse. That's so specific because her purse was stolen, found in a garbage can. Like, it's so specifically that somebody would say that out loud. It just felt,
why would you say that?
Why would you say what? Where did he hear it? Like, where did you hear that? What was the context? Like, the context has to matter in that situation for them to just say, we arrested him on unrelated charges. Now that has nothing to do with why he would want to cooperate with the police so he wouldn't get in trouble. That has nothing to do with that. He just wanted to let us know. He didn't tell us, so we'd let him go on the charges we picked him up for. That's not what this was about.
Was he involved in this case at all? Or was he just like...
I think they picked him up on unrelated charges. They picked him up on unrelated charges. Okay. He probably lives in the neighborhood, and they were like, hey, where were you on the night of June 1st of 1989? He goes, I bet. Well, hey, guess what, man? A woman was murdered, and you live around there. So either you did it, or you're going to tell us somebody else that did it. And that's how I feel like this went, because that's just a weird... His father, he's saying, I know their father knew too, and the brother said you shouldn't have gone in the lady's purse. That feels like fed information. Like, some lady's purse was stolen and she was murdered, and like you happen to hear somebody say you shouldn't have gone in this lady's purse. Just feels weird. So as a result, on June 6, 1989, detectives came to the Batchelor family home with Larry Johnson, where he identified Corey Batchelor in the home as the murder suspect in question. Wow. They brought him in the home or outside of the home, whatever they did, but they brought him to the crime scene, or not a crime scene, they brought him to the scene, and were like, is this the guy? And he said yes. And so then the officers took Corey Batchelor to the police station and put him in an interrogation room where he would spend the next 27 hours. Yep. For the first 24 hours, Batchelor said he was never given his Miranda rights, although detectives questioned him repeatedly. So without a lawyer present as well. 19. He denied any involvement in the crime.
What are you supposed to do?
I mean,
what are you supposed to do it sitting in a room for a whole day?
You're hot. That's hot. That's kidnapping.
At some point, you go like, That's when you go like, man, look, I can tell you that I got to use the bathroom, I'm hungry, and I'm fucking
literally.
Chair hurt my ass.
That's why they do it.
I want to lay down.
That's literally why they do it.
That's crazy, man.
That's literally why they do it. They wait you out until you need something, and then they go, that's when we're going to talk to you when you're hungry and have to pee and scared. And, that's when you're going to tell us whatever we want you to tell us. So, yeah, that's why they do it. So the whole time he denied any involvement in the crime. And at one point he said he had been in the park with a friend, 19-year-old Kevin Bailey. Again, it's like, man, like this, you just are talking. You don't know you're implicating somebody. You're just saying, like, you're telling your truth, and now you brought your friend into it. Because that's really what you were doing. I was hanging out with my friend Fran. Yeah. Oh, Fran. Okay, well, we got to get him down here. We're going to tell him you're going to go to jail. One of you guys is going to jail. Either you're going to jail or Alvin's going to jail. He said you guys were together, and this lady's dead, and one of you guys did it. And it's like, what the fuck? You start getting, when they start talking fast like that, and you're scared, and you think your freedom's on the line, and you were like, I was just at home. I always think about that dude Corey Wise, man, of all the Central Park. He just was like, my mom will be mad at me if she finds out I let my friend go to the police station without me. Let me just be a good friend and go down there with him. And they took 10, 15 years of his life, man. And he was in the hole and all this crazy shit. And he just wanted to be a good friend. And just like that, you end up in the interrogation room. They ask you a couple questions. You answer them in a way that they can find a narrative like, oh, so you were at the scene of the crime. Well, yeah, technically, but it's a big park, or it's Chicago. Southside Chicago is big. I wasn't in the south side of Chicago, but I wasn't in this lady's garage. But you were in the south side of Chicago. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start to paint this narrative and put this pressure on you. So Corey Batchelor, they're putting that pressure on him. He's been in an interrogation room for 27 hours. He mentions that he was hanging out with his friend on the night that Lula Mae was murdered. He was hanging out with his friend, Kevin Bailey. Now Kevin Bailey's involved. So he said he was hanging out with his friend, Kevin Bailey, and they found $50 in cash on the ground. I don't know why he said that. I don't know if he said that, but according to the story that I read, that part seems to be what Corey Chandler is saying. I told them that. I mean, Corey Batchelor is saying I told them that, not the police accused me of saying this. He's saying that's what my night was. So they're saying, oh, so you have cash in your pocket. This lady's purse is missing. You say you found the money on the ground. A likely story. You're lying. Right. I would have, but
that's some bullshit.
You don't know what to omit. Like, you don't know that makes you sound guilty. Like, you just are like, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, like, that's what happened. You don't think like, whoa, they said a lady, because they might not tell you a lady's purse was stolen. So you go, I'm not correlating me finding cash with a cash from a purse, and they can go, oh, you say you found it, but this lady's purse was stolen and she had cash missing out of her purse. And then they can lie and they can go, guess how much money she was missing? $50.
Yeah.
Just make that up. They can just make that up. Now you're scared. Now you tell them whatever you want to hear. That's the kind of games they can play in there.
Bullshit, though?
Say it again?
That's some bullshit where it's like, oh, I found some money, and they go, like you said, they can go, oh, well, this lady's purse was stolen, and it had money in it, and it's gone, it was stolen, and you just happen to find money on the ground. But it's like, now you like, shit, like, everything is going against you now. It's like, now it's like, nothing is on your side.
Yeah, no.
And that should break you down emotionally and mentally. That should fuck you up.
And this is why you do not speak to detectives or police without a lawyer present. It is imperative that people follow. Sometimes you go, well, I'm innocent, man. I'm going to just tell them what happened. No, fuck that. You don't know what you could say that would take you from not being a suspect to being the number one suspect, and you are literally innocent.
Yeah.
So don't say shit. Don't tell them the truth. Don't tell them this story. And let me just go ahead and clear this up. By the time it's done, they're like, man, you're going to jail for triple murder. You just told us a bunch of stuff that we can make work, and you fit you gave us a great narrative, and you're the guy. So shut the fuck up.
Mm.
So based on that statement, detectives arrested Kevin Bailey on June 7th and brought him into the station. Bailey and Batchelor were convicted of the June 1st, 1989 murder of Lula Mae Woods based exclusively on the lawyerless confessions obtained by the Chicago police detectives who worked under the notorious former Chicago police commander John Burge. If you don't know that name, look him up. He's got a long list of all kind of crimes, and he was convicted of crimes of misconduct and wrongful convict. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. John Burge is notorious in Chicago. But anyway, so the detectives that convicted these gentlemen. Yeah, it's a very racist name. It's like John without the H. So that's already like, I don't trust you. It's like, where's the H? What, the H? So anyway, so the detectives that convicted these two kids worked for John Burge. So they probably followed the same playbook. You know, it's like gun trace task force. Like, this was our commander. Shit goes from the head down. We follow the lead of the leader. The leader's dirty. We're going to end up dirty too. An investigation revealed that under former police commander John Burge, officers tortured at least 100 black men into confessions over 2 decades under the name the Midnight Crew. Wow. Yeah. In 2010, Burge was convicted in federal court of perjury for denying torture allegations during questioning in federal lawsuits brought by other torture victims. He was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Batchelor was allegedly choked, kicked, and slammed against a wall by detectives until he confessed and implicated Bailey. He didn't just voluntarily throw his friend under the bus. They coerced him into implicating him in a crime that he didn't commit himself. But you're getting punched and kicked, and it's been 27 hours in a room, and you haven't had food or water or gone to the bathroom, and now they're beating on you. It's like, man, we were there. I don't know. It was a garage. I don't know, man. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah, just stop hitting me. Just stop hitting me. The confession given by the two scared teenagers were wildly inconsistent with each other and did not fit known details about the crime. So again, we saw this in the Central Park 5 case where they kept cutting the tape off because Corey Wise was getting the lie wrong. So, but in this case, the kids are like just saying how, they're saying, yeah, and she had a green purse. They're just saying things, and the things don't match up with this case. But it's like, but we confessed. But if you don't pay attention to the details, and you just pay attention to the confession, once you zoom in and you go, everything they're saying. First of all, they're saying it was daytime. She was murdered at night. They're saying the garage had a car in it. There was no car. They didn't keep a car in the garage because it was like it was a storage garage. Like, but nobody pays attention to those details. They just go, they're confessing. So that was one of these cases where it was inconsistent. Like, it didn't even match up with how she was killed or anything. They could have. Who knows?
How did that even work?
Confession.
How did they are able to use that in court? That's crazy.
Confession. That's the only. And then also the coldest part about the American judicial system is like, if you don't have money, you're not gonna get a good defense team. So the lawyer that they appoint you is not gonna spend 30 hours diving into the police report and going and looking at the scene and cross-referencing types of knives, and they go, well, you guys said it was a fishing knife, or you guys said you used a butcher knife, but this is a serrated knife. There's no way you could confuse the two. Like, they're not going to do that extra work that a legal team that's on retainer would do. So if you don't have the money, while it might seem like, if you just took the time and looked at how inconsistent their facts are, or not facts, because they're just making up how they killed these people because they're under duress and being forced to confess. If you look at what they said and what actually happened, this is clear that they're lying. And why would you lie about killing somebody unless you were under duress? So it sounds simple, but clearly it wasn't, because these two young men got convicted. I will continue. So the two young men were tried separately, maintaining their innocence through the entire process. Hair analysis excluded them as the source of the three hairs that were found on her, and on there was a hair found on the Domino's hat, and 2 other hairs found on other parts that were in the kitchen as well. I mean, in the garage. And so this part is actually confusing because the Innocence Project gets involved in this case, and they say they pursued the DNA evidence in like 2008 or something like that, and this happened in 1989. So I don't even know if they had hair analysis in 1989. Right, he probably didn't. So he probably didn't. Yeah. So the hair analysis, I think, based on, I might have just put it in early, I think the hair analysis is what eventually gets them exonerated. Because so that they had the hair, but I don't know if they had the testing ability back then. But I'm not sure. But the way when I was reading the details, it came up that their DNA didn't match the hair samples found, and I couldn't tell if they meant they tested it then and then just didn't mention it during the trial, or if when they got a retrial, and then tested the hair in 2008, 10, whatever. Then they have the technology, and their DNA was not on the hairs. So I believe believe it's the second one. I believe the DNA of the hairs is what ends up getting them exonerated. So police said that none of the fingerprints, because they found 7 fingerprints on the purse and the checkbook and everything in the dumpster. The police said that none of the fingerprints belonged to either Bailey or Batchelor. The only evidence linking them to the crime in 1989 was their confession. The identity of the person who shed his fingerprint, the identity of the person who shed his fingerprint on these key items is still unknown. Batchelor was sentenced to 30 years, and Bailey, who was the guy, he wasn't even picked up. Corey Batchelor got him involved. So Corey Batchelor got 30 years. Kevin Bailey got 80 years.
Damn.
So was the second guy brought in as the accomplice.
And he got 80 years?
He got 80 years. I guess they flipped it and made it where he was the guy. It was his idea. This was all on him. So in August of 2004, Batchelor was released from prison on parole after serving 15 years. By then, both men had filed numerous appeals and post-conviction motions for new trials, but all were unsuccessful. Ultimately, in 2006, the Innocence Project stepped in and took up Bailey's case because Bailey was still in prison because he got 80 years. So they took up his case seeking DNA testing of the evidence from 1989, the fingerprints in the hair. Ultimately, testing excluded Batchelor, Bailey, and Lula Mae Woods as the source of the hairs found on the Domino's Pizza hat and confirmed that the hair came from a man. So the hair wasn't Lula Mae's, and it wasn't Kevin Bailey's or Corey Batchelor's.
Yeah, and I might have missed this part. So did either one of them work at Domino's?
Not that I know of. That didn't come up. I don't think either of them were. I don't think either of them did, though. I mean, if they did, that would be a big riff. That might have been, but they were implicated in this case because a guy got arrested for something unrelated. They put pressure on him, and he pointed the finger at Corey Batchelor. That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
So I want to ask you a question. Though, would you hold a grudge against that guy that mentioned your name?
Well, which guy? The random guy or my friend?
Because
the random guy came. He came to his house.
Your friend.
Oh.
I guess your friend is.
I would hold more. Oh, damn. Because we both went to prison.
Because the random guy, he just.
He's out for self. He doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't think he might know you. He might know you from around the way, but y'all aren't good friends. I think they all are from the same neighborhood. But he showed up to his house to point the finger at him. I would hold a grudge against him. But I mean, both Corey and Kevin went to prison. So it's not like Corey got Kevin involved in this and then put it all on him and then he got to skate. Like he just got tricked. Yeah. He just got tricked. Like he got wrapped up in the speak and the words and the threats and the physical violence and the 27-hour hold. And he said some shit that was dumb that he shouldn't have said. And he got his friend involved in it and kind of both got fucked, but it wasn't malicious. So I wouldn't hold a grudge against a friend that did some dumb shit. In this case, this was just like a miscarriage of justice, man. And this guy just happened to say, like, yeah, I was hanging out with my friend. We found some money on the ground. And then the rest was history. That was done. It was like, oh, yeah, cool. We got 2 suspects now. So lawyers for the Exoneration Project at the University of Chicago Law School, the Center on Wrongful Convictions of Youth at Northwestern University Law School, and the People's Law Office joined the Innocence Project. So they had a full legal team. And once the Innocence Project got involved, that's when all the bigwigs come out and you get the real legal defense that you need to fight a case in the United States. So they got all that. All these pro bono lawyers came together. They formed like Voltron, and they filed a petition for a new trial on behalf of Batchelor and Bailey. Even though Batchelor was free at this point, they still wanted to get his charges exonerated because he was just out on parole. He was still a convicted murderer. So based on the DNA, they wanted to do this new trial based on the DNA test results. So by that time, the allegations of torture involving a long list of defendants, including Batchelor and Bailey, had been made against Chicago Police Lieutenant John Burge and detectives under his command. So it's like it was almost the perfect storm. You know, these two guys are looking to get their case exonerated, and while that's happening, this story breaks about this police officer going to prison for torturing black people into confessing to crimes. So once that hits the media, they connect the dots. and it looks really favorable for you for public image wise, where you go, they were just a part of these other people who were tortured by this police department. So yeah, they probably are innocent. Right. We should exonerate them. So it was the perfect kind of news story to help bolster them getting a favorable trial. So the petition for a new trial detailed the evidence of the widespread and systemic use of torture by detectives, including those who interrogated Bailey and Batchelor. The petition also brought up the fact that Lula Mae Woods was the wife of a retired police officer, and that if detectives involved in this case were accused of misconduct and violence against scores of random defendants, the odds of them changing their ways against two guys that they believed killed a cop's wife was unlikely. So basically what they were saying was they were beating up guys that they thought stole a bike or robbed a convenience store. You think they're going to not beat up the guys that they think killed one of their guys' wives? They wouldn't. Right. They'd at least do what they've been doing or more. They go worse, right. Probably. They probably go worse on them. So, like in prior cases alleging police torture, a special prosecutor named Stuart Noodleman was assigned to handle the case for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. After a long and litigious journey, on January 30th, 2018, a judge granted a motion to vacate Kevin Bailey's conviction after serving nearly 30 years in prison. And after his release, Kevin told the press while on the steps of the courthouse building, to finally just hear those words that I always knew in that same exact building behind us in 1989, that no matter what happens, before I leave this earth, I will leave an innocent man, or at least I will die trying. So, you know, I mean, he felt vindicated, you know, to say the least. And to hear that in the same building where you got convicted is, man, full circle. That's got to be a wild feeling.
I know, you know, it's a great feeling for him to be, you know, he was exonerated, right?
Well, yeah, the charges were vacated, so yes, he was exonerated based on the DNA evidence.
Right. I know that's a great feeling, but for you to have to go through all that and then do 30 years, 30 years
1989,
and between that
1989 to 2018.
Yeah, and between that time where you was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of here, or you don't even know if you know if this case is gonna get out, to get the publicity you need to get the right help, to get for it to reach the right people that can help you get out of here. All that doubt, man, and in hindsight, it feels like 30 years, bro. Like that is a long ass time, man.
It's my entire life.
That's a long ass time.
It's my whole life. So and it's like
that's fucking crazy.
We have these discussions all the time, and you know we talked about it a bit when we were talking about Adnan Syed and how he's probably in the best position you can be in as a person who goes through this type of thing, because his case was so widely publicized that I think he's going to land on his feet. But it's like, what does that mean though? You know, like what does that really? Even if he's the best case, he's going to have a job and media attention and money and sponsorships and book deals, but like he lost 22 years of his life. Kevin Bailey lost 30 years of his life. Corey Batchelor lost 15 years of his life. And then not to mention the mental fucked upness of Kevin Bailey, probably when you find out Corey Batchelor got released on parole. Yeah. You know, that probably fucks you up, and you're trying to be, because I know so many people, I have family members went to prison, and it's like, that the hardest part sometimes is just keeping your head up. And so let alone when you're in prison innocent. I'm talking about family members that, look, man, I got family, they did it. I'm not, like they stole the car. Like, they got to go do their bid. But let alone you sitting in prison and you're innocent and you're trying to fight every day to not do anything to yourself, stay focused, keep a positive attitude, fight the good fight, and you find out my co-defendant, who was also innocent, and I'm only here because he said my name, is free. Right. So I don't like that. That's the part that gets my blood so boiled about this, is they're just playing with people's freedom. Like, you make this mistake, you can fuck up somebody's life in 3 months. You could, take them off the street, put them in jail, put them through a trial, and have them convicted in 6 months. And it takes 40 years to right the wrong. Yeah. It's like when you buy something and then you like, I don't want this, I want to return it. It's like, oh, we'll get the money to you in like 60 days. It's like, you didn't take this money out At 60, you took this money out the day I bought this shirt.
I bought it, yeah. Right.
You didn't take 60 days to take the money for my shirt, but I got to wait 60 days for you to give me my money back? That's a much smaller, scale of a scenario, but you get what I'm saying. But anyway, in December of 2018, Batchelor and Bailey filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Chicago seeking compensation for their wrongful convictions. In January 2022, the lawsuit was settled for $14 million. The two men split the settlement evenly, and infamous police commander John Burge, whose awful tactics costed the city of Chicago nearly $200 million in settlements, because that's once this kind of opened the floodgates. It was like once he got arrested, once he got arrested and convicted of torturing people, the city of Chicago had to put out a statement and like make a law or whatever it is, where it said, if you can prove that you were one of these people that were tortured in this time frame by this department, you get $100,000. So mad people came forward and ended up paying out nearly $200 million.
Did they do that, or that was like attorneys putting out like a damn commercial doing that shit?
I mean, well, it's one of those kind of things where it's like, if the city says if you can prove that lead paint poisoning was a thing, then it's gonna be all kind of lawyers that pop up, but they're taking advantage of the system that's in place. So it was some kind of law passed or some kind of decree or something that said, if you can prove this, then we'll pay you $100,000. Then a lawyer will come, of course, and go, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then let me get my 10%, 15% of the $100,000.
Yeah.
So the lawyers don't have any say in being able to sue. There has to be some kind of like precedent, and this precedent was set in some kind of way where they said, if you can prove you were tortured, we'll give you $100,000. And this guy, John Burge, costed the city of Chicago and the taxpayers nearly $200 million in settlements because so many people came forward. And then people like Kevin Bailey and Corey Batchelor came forward and hit him off for $14 million. And so, John Burge died in 2010 at the age of 70. So, good riddance. Go fuck yourself.
They don't give a shit.
But but again, and we have this discussion. I think I said somewhere around 10 million is something. I can try to pick up the pieces of my life. So they got around 7, taxes come in and everything like that. But what is 30 years of your life, man? I mean, realistically,
I would not most precious commodity, bro.
For sure, bro. Like you can't put a price tag on it. And it's funny, like I would never, if I ever got the pleasure to sit down with one of these people, I wouldn't even ask that question. I feel like it's distasteful. Like it's an interesting question to like ask you when we do little games and hypotheticals and stuff, but like if I go, I would never go, so was it worth the 10 million? Was it worth it's not even, I don't even know how I would ask it. I just wouldn't. It's like they would say no. They would say no. I'd rather have my life. So but they sued, they filed a lawsuit, and they split $14 million from the city. So
I think anybody would, unless it wasn't that much time, or you didn't have kids, something like that. I think anybody that got kids and family, close family that passed away during that time, be like, nah, I'd
rather have my time.
That wasn't worth it at all.
Yeah, I'd rather have my time. Yeah. I was in hell, especially because you really got to put into the frame like you did the time in American prison, which I hear there are worse prisons and stuff, but I watch a lot of Gangland and Locked Up Raw. 30 years in an American prison is...
It's prison. It doesn't matter where it's at. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck if it's worse somewhere else or whatever.
But I'm just saying, like,
4 walls,
you fighting for your life every
24
day.
24 hours, 23 hours a day. Yeah, fuck that.
Getting treated like an animal. It's not like we're saying, would you get locked in a box for 30 years? Like, no, would you fucking be institutionalized, eating moldy bread, all that, like the real, like all that shit. Like, cause that's the other part. Like, we don't know that experience. So we were able to play this hypothetical of like 30 years in a cell. It's like, no, there's so many other things to prison besides being, the cell part is just like the home part of prison. It's gangs and politics and all kind of, well, don't sit on that table, because if you sit on that table, that means you're a bitch. Like all that type of stuff. It's so fascinating watching those shows where so many weird rules. Like you just got to know, or it'll be not a fun time for you in prison. Who you sit near, who you sit with.
Bar soap on the screen.
Oh, man. Who you play, don't play basketball, because if they foul you too hard, then you got to fight them, because if you don't, then they're going to say you're a bitch. Like, oh, I elbowed him in his mouth. He just let me do it. Like, that's crazy. Like, We playing basketball.
Yeah,
If I go, oh, good foul, and they go, yeah, I bet it was, bitch. You're like, oh wow, okay, I thought we were just playing basketball.
Yeah.
I think about my personality in prison. I would not have a good time in prison because I would let so much shit. Somebody step on my shoes, like, oh, you good, bro? Like, I bet I am good. Matter of fact, give me the shoes. You go, damn,
yeah.
Shit, I just was being polite. Yeah, there's no polite. You can't be polite in prison.
Nah,
you gotta turn up at all times.
Everybody think they're the toughest person.
Yeah. You gotta turn up at all times. Somebody step on your shoes, like, you gonna step on my shoes? You gotta turn up. So you gotta put all that into effect, and you go 30 years of that. Was that worth? What? How much money is that worth? It's like I wouldn't even ask a person who got one of these settlements. Like, how much money is that worth? Like, nothing. Not a person that really went through.
That's changing you, right? That's changing you as a person, your personality and behavior. That's man.
Yeah, you don't come out the same.
Then trying to come out, and then like, nah, like that's not the same. Bro. Not the same.
No, you come out a whole different person. It's not like
exactly.
would you take a nap for 30 years and then wake up older and shit? That's how we look at it. Like, would you just be gone for 30 years and then just pop back up in the world? Like, nah, man, you still alive. You just living in some crazy alternate like hell where it's the animals. You're an animal. You got to be an animal to survive amongst the animals. Yeah. And then you got to come out and be like,
and I ain't do nothing.
And I'm innocent. So now
I'm in here for nothing.
Now you think of this. So Fran, think of the psychology of that. Now you turn me into an animal, and I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
It wasn't my fault. Yeah.
I might have had to stab somebody in here. Somebody stabbed me. Whatever. Fight. Join a gang. Whatever. And I was innocent.
You're a different person.
So I came on there and they go, yeah. And when you get out, you have to go get a job at Arby's. It's like, you want me to do what? Like, you know how. It's PTSD.
You come out with they give you $7 million. You give me all this money. I've been in jail for 40 years or whatever. I come out not $7 million. It's like you expect this person to know what to do with it.
I was 19. Never seen $1,000 at one time.
Yeah.
And now I got $7 million. Family that we talked about this too. Like their hands are coming out. It's a sick world, and you brought up a good point one time. We were talking about this, where it's like they need to have, and maybe they do, but I haven't heard about it. But they need to have some kind of literary courses or financial, literacy courses. If you're gonna give me $7 million, and I was 19 when I went to prison, you need to have somebody teach me how to do this, and don't just leave me to the scammers, because somebody could come to you in a navy blue suit with brown shoes on.
Exactly. Somebody hired from the state.
Yep.
Something like that.
Somebody that has been vetted, because somebody could come along and be like,
hey, and they can be held accountable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a record. We know we looking at the books, making sure they're not stealing from you. That needs to be in place, because somebody could come along and sell you be a good snake oil salesman and say, hey man, I could turn that 7 million into 14, and then you'll be really set for life.
Yep.
Then they be like, oh man, I lost all your money in Bitcoin. So we need to make sure these people are in position to succeed when they get out of prison, have the resources that they need. You can't just throw somebody $7 million and say, figure it out. Because you still got the same brain as you went in at 19. You're still going to be stunted. I'm not going to say, because you can learn. You go to learning annexes and take college courses and stuff, but you're still going to be stunted. You can't grow and develop in prison. You can't travel and meet people.
Just like them. That's just like them giving you money till you get out and going and saying sorry, and then like slamming the door in their face.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
good luck.
Go figure it out.
Yep.
We said sorry, so I have to clean it.
Yep. Yes, wow, man. But yeah, man. Let's go ahead and we're gonna do a light version of Good Vibes, and a little quick Good Vibes. I think we should just discuss your excitement, man. I'm not even gonna break into the music or anything like that. This is a very raw, unfiltered episode of Affirmative Murder. Good Vibes. Let's just discuss, man. So Friday.
Yeah.
Kids coming down. How does it feel to be the guy, like you get it's cool that your kids get to see you get married. Like they're going to remember that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if Max is not going to be focused. I think he'll be absorbed in the love.
I think he'll remember it, and for Sophie, I think it's a bigger moment.
Yeah,
she'll definitely. They both remember, but she's definitely involved, and I think it's something she'll talk about. probably for the rest of her life, and it's a memory for her. And as Max, I think Max will probably remember bits because he's 2, so it's like he'll remember bits and pieces of it. But then when he's like 7, he's like, man, I don't remember too much about it, unless something crazy happens where he's like, oh yeah, I definitely remember that. But he's 2, so he's not really gonna remember too much. He's gonna have his little tux on. He has a little tux. We gonna go get our haircut starting in the morning or whatever to get the day started. So it's definitely it's gonna be a crazy day, man. It's definitely gonna be a roller coaster of emotions, only because family is gonna be there, and then we have a lot of people don't notice. I didn't tell my dad in this, but we have a table of like loved ones that's not around anymore. So
oh wow,
I think that's gonna be that's very emotional. So
that's special.
So it's gonna be the emotions is gonna be a roller coaster. I'm having a roller coaster of emotions. It's gonna be crazy, but it's definitely gonna be a day for us to remember. It's definitely gonna be a special day. So
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited though, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, man. It's gonna be a really big moment. I don't even want to say too much because I don't want to dig into my speech bag. I don't even want to touch on that. I don't even want to touch on any of the elements of my speech in talking to you right now. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a special. Yeah. It's been a pleasure just watching you grow, man. And it's like it's wild, man. Like it's just a big moment, milestones. When you see people just accomplishing milestones, and another shout out to a friend of the show, JJ. He just had his baby last night. He sent me the pictures. He's been up. He's been up for like 24 hours, rubbing backs and getting shit, getting shit thrown at him and stuff.
Man.
His baby, the little princess, was born, and it's just crazy. Like seeing my friends do all these amazing things, man. It really is like it really brings joy to me. Like it makes me proud because like I knew you guys. I've known you longer than anybody, but I'm just saying like you, JJ, Les, a lot of things he's accomplished. I'm just like, man, like I remember when we just were like getting some fast food was man, let me scrape together this 15. I might not get this part of the meal. I might just get the meal without the fries on this one, but we're gonna go have a good time and sit in the parking lot, eat some fast food, some Sonic or whatever. And to go to Jamaica for JJ's wedding, or going to your wedding on Friday and seeing your kids there and at the wedding rehearsal and just seeing just big shit happening, unless it was like his voice was in a fucking movie. I'm just like, man, I'm just proud of my friends, man. It's just really cool and
man,
special.
I think we can both say, I think JJ and Les, they're more closer friends than you, but I consider them as my friends as well,
for sure.
And it's like, and my other friends that we don't talk about too much on here. It's like I always think about like sometimes I be at work or whatever, just sitting around, and I go like, dang, like how lucky you have to be to have not like a huge group of friends, but a small group of friends with like none of them are getting in crazy trouble.
Yep.
All good influences on you. It's like I feel like that's rare, man. I feel like that's really rare for you to be surrounded by people who are doing good things where like nobody is influencing you to do some crazy shit that you're not supposed to be doing. Everybody is living a good life and doing the right things, having a moral compass and stuff like that. And I just think that's super important and it's super rare, man. So I always feel like, man, I'm lucky, man. Like I'm super lucky. I have friends with like they went to college and we only went to college because we thought that was the right thing to do because we had friends that was going to college. And it's like, no, it wasn't for me, but I still made that effort. We still made that effort to at least try to do that.
Good influence
to better ourselves. But it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, so yeah, that's I always think about that. Like I'm just super lucky, man.
Yeah, because I make my jokes and shit, man. But we could have got influenced to do way dumber shit than go to college for a year. Like,
right.
We did that because all our friends were doing that. Like all of our friends could have been doing some real dumb, reckless shit, and we could have did that. So I might make my jokes about wasting time and it was a waste or whatever the fuck, but like it wasn't a waste. It was just not for us. A waste would have been doing some dumb shit and getting arrested and losing time out of your life. That would have been dumb shit. So it's like, I think about that shit almost every day because for me, like I said, I look at like you and Jay and Les, and I go, not only am I just like happy that you guys don't do dumb shit and you guys are living. Well, Les does super dumb shit, but it's fun. It's fun dumb shit. He does fun dumb shit. But
he's not out here being a criminal.
Yeah, he's not out here being well. But it's
what it is.
But it's not. You guys aren't just doing good shit like that. It inspires me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm inspired. Exactly. I'm inspired by you. I'm not just like, man, good for them. I'm like, nah, man. Like I'm looking to you guys. Like I'm inspired by you guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's rare too, because I think a lot of times people get stagnated by their circle. Like you can only go as high as the people you keep around you. So the people I keep around me make me want to go higher all the time, constantly. And so it's like elevation is necessary at all times. And like I think that's rare. Like we said, like that's rare to be surrounded by people like that. And it's also kind of a cheat code because I only fuck with like 6 people. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like you got a small group, small tight group.
People keep trying, bro. I'm like, listen, man, I'm good. Like I don't have any more applications left. I'm so, like I don't have any concern left. Like we can be buddies. But me being like concerned about your well-being and your family and shit, I got those people locked in.
Yeah.
I got a little MySpace top 6.
And it's like I don't trust people for me to be like, we get into your 30s, like trying to make new friends. A new friend, a new adult. I don't know what you. Yeah, it's like first of all, I'm like, I don't know what your motive is. I don't know what the end game is with you. I don't know where do you come from?
Yeah, what is this?
You trying to be my friend.
Literally, where did you come from?
What do you want?
I don't know. Why do you need? Because I already know I have a friend group. Why do you need new? Why are you looking for new friends? Who'd you fuck over?
Exactly.
What friend group did you get kicked out of that you need new friends all of a sudden at 30 years old? Because I got my friends. I'm not looking for a new group of friends, but you really keep being like, hey man, let's hang out. We should go get drinks. I'm like, why don't you have friends? Why is it that you don't have friends? Unless you tell me you just moved here. Unless you tell me you just moved here. Because I'll accept that. That's one I'll accept. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to hang out with you, but I'll go, all right, new friends. You're looking for new friends. But if you go, no, man, we went to the same high school. I knew of you in high school, but we didn't know each other. So let's go get a drink sometime. I'm like, wait, so you've been here the whole time and you looking for new friends? You 30? Nah, you are a dirtbag. Like you steal or something. You steal from people's homes. Or something. You do something. Something's wrong with you. So I'm not looking for new friends, bro. And so that is kind of a cheat code because if you keep a whole bunch of half friends, you are definitely not going to be inspired by too many of them because you don't even really know them that well. And it's too many of them. You're bound to have some fuck ups around you, So, yeah.
Exactly.
Keep that circle tight and strong, man. You don't need a big old loose group of friends that you don't even really care that much about. Like, keep a good, solid, keep a round table. Keep some people around you trust and really want to see succeed. And it's no weird snake type of shit. Not a person that is my friend today. I never have had any kind of jealousy or any type. Only wanted them to succeed. They only wanted me to succeed, and you can feel it, and it's evident by the fact that we've been friends this long. So yeah, man, all of that shit is a part of Friday. It's gonna be a special day, and I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited. Man, I'm so excited to get those pictures walking down the aisle with your brother, bro. It's gonna be iconic, bro. It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I feel like that's my most. I feel like that's my most nervous part. Is like, cause I gotta walk that by myself.
True,
so
but you got a gang of people that got your back. Yeah, we got your back though.
Yeah,
we coming right behind you. We coming right behind you. But you gotta take that runway walk by yourself.
It's gonna be. Yeah, I know, right? But it's gonna be. I hope you pray like it's be a perfect day. The weather's supposed to be like my type of weather. So I'm excited about that. It's not gonna be hot or whatever, but yeah, man, it's gonna be a crazy day. Then I told you we leaving that night to go to the little mini moon. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a wild one for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. I'm excited. I want all the details as far as like what you guys see on your mini moon and the places you hit up and everything like that. I'm excited to for that to go well because it's gonna go well. You guys are gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that being said, I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Fran and Alvin. Be sure to send Fran all the love you can once you guys see the social media posts. And we'll see you guys in a little over a week after Fran gets to celebrate his nuptials.
Deuces.
On Sunday, September 25th, ABC's The Rookie returns for an action-packed new season as LAPD's finest answer the call to protect their city and look good doing it. Nathan Fillion leads an ensemble cast as Officer John Nolan, who started out as the oldest rookie on the force and now serves with heart and when needed humor. The Rookie, season premiere Sunday, September 25th, 10/9 Central. And don't miss the series premiere of The Rookie Feds, Tuesday, 10/9 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
When you shop at a Walmart Vision Center, you get it. You know that you'll spend a little less on stylish glasses for the whole family.
Welcome to the Vision Center. Let me know if you need help finding the perfect frame.
Hey, Mom, you were right. These glasses are cool.
Hon, they take our insurance. That means Papa's getting a new pair, too.
Whoa, glasses start at just $39. Next stop, groceries.
So you can get a little more of what you need. Find a Vision Center near you. Save money, live better. Walmart.